Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Shotway48 here. Welcome back to another reaction video. And today we got ourselves some new information of My Hero Academia Season 6, Chapter 366 as well. And, things are actually getting interesting between the villains and heroes, fighting out to see who wins. And we know that Buck goes down and he's being revived, and their heroes are trying to buy some time so he could get up. So we're still on the verge of that. And it looks like we got some new information about what's going on right here. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what we can get some intel about. Alright, so let's do this.
Chapter of My Hero Academia is going to be a pretty dramatic one, I think. So here are all the possible things that might happen in My Hero Academia chapter 366.
Okay.
Bakugo will wake back up and bring the fight back to Shigaraki with an all-new mindset and level of focus compared to before, thanks to Edshot's secret technique restoring Bakugo and also possibly giving him some of Edshot's personality. Now, in a video earlier this week, I suggested that Bakugo might even get Edshot's quirk, causing some interesting events to unfold, so feel free to check that video out by clicking the card in the top right. Horikoshi is really focusing on this Bakugo area. We've been here for quite a while, even though we have cut away to the All for One and Endeavor area. This seems to be the main area of focus right now, right? This is the battlefield that Deku is heading towards. This is where the main villain is. I do believe we are going to cut away to the other battlefields at some point soon, and we'll talk about that a little later in the video. But I have trouble believing we're not going to be seeing the Bakugo area next chapter, considering the fact that we're literally in the process of Edshot trying to restore him, and I believe by this point Edshot is already completely within Bakugo's body. He's just doing the work of actually dissolving and finishing up his procedure. So I expect Bakugo to reawaken anytime soon now, pretty much within the next chapter or two. And a lot of people are very 50-50 on Bakugo's death and resurrection, so how ridiculous would it be if we did all of this, losing Edshot and possibly more, just to bring Bakugo back without enough power to completely change the battle? I think instead we are going to see some sort of radical change, but will Bakugo survive until Deku gets there, or was all of this for one final grand explosion that could change the entire flow of the war? Mirko will sacrifice herself to allow Bakugo to wake up. Mirko is the kind of hero who gets the job done no matter what it seems. And in that way, I find Mirko to be a really good foil to characters like Deku and Bakugo, who both exhibit some of those features, like Deku not caring what happens to his body for the sake of being a hero, and Bakugo always having a clear image of victory in his head without the possibility for failure. And on top of that, I suppose his overall mentality about killing villains if that's what the situation calls for, something that we did see in Team Up Mission when Bakugo and Mirko met in the first place. Now, we've seen Mirko lose limb after limb over the last few arcs of My Hero Academia, starting with the war arc that we're going to be seeing in My Hero Academia Season 6. But now that Mirko is left here with just one leg, and Endeavor isn't there to cauterize her wounds, what are the honest odds of her survival? Shigaraki is really trying his best to get to Bakugo, so how do you stop an All Might level opponent from getting from point A to point B when they're filled with killing intent? The answer might be that you have to sacrifice yourself to do it, and fight tooth and nail the entire time doing so. So that's why, sadly, I think Mirko is out of here. We saw Shigaraki tank nukes and giant sky beams from Star and Stripe, so overall I'm impressed that Mirko is even able to hold Shigaraki back at all, and as much as I'll miss the character that I'm personally dubbing the Queen of My Hero Academia, I'd rather her go out in a blaze of glory than have a boring ending. So thanks Mirko for always doing your best, and long may she reign. The reveal of what Skeptic is hacking in UA and how it'll affect the heroes. We know that Skeptic has control over the heroes' communication, but we also saw that he has access to UA's internal somehow. Whether that's just their escape pods or something else, we really have no idea. But I'm guessing that it's going to come into play within the next chapter or two, so I'm wondering if along with whatever's happening on the main battlefield of Shigaraki, we see a backdoor attack by Skeptic where he either turns the thrusters off of the UA skybase, raising the tension even more as UA plummets to the ground, or could Skeptic take control of the anti-decay technology that we saw launch Shigaraki to further disturb and throw off the heroes up top, like maybe sending Monoma and Aizawa flying into the barrier, allowing Shigaraki to heal himself and have a few moments of his quirk back to then use decay or steal some quirks or do something else. Would his decay stop spreading if Aizawa uses his quirk on him? I think considering that Kay stopped on Aizawa back during the USJ event at the beginning of the series, maybe, but it does work differently now, so it'd be very nice to see how those quirks would interact at this point. A major Deku cliffhanger. It's been a while since we've seen Deku, let alone the other battlefields of the war, but while I don't think that Deku was going to arrive to the main battlefield anytime soon, I do think we'll see what those things were that were flying towards him, and whether or not they really were just high-end Nomu, because consider this. At first, we didn't have much reason to think that they were Nomu or something like that other than how they looked, because Deku being in this area wasn't part of the plan. So there'd be no way for the villains to know what path Deku would take to fly back to UA in order to intercept him. This led a lot of people to think that it was the Jets that were part of Star and Stripes' team before she died, who are currently in charge of maintaining a perimeter outside of the UA skybase, coming to pick up Deku and help him get to UA faster. However, now that we know that Skeptic has been hacking their communication, and seems to know which areas everyone is in, it's possible that Skeptic shared this information with All For One, who then sent his own group of villains, or Nomu, to Deku personally to either try to delay him or capture him without risking Shigaraki's body again. And also, knowing that the Nomu can be controlled using radio waves, I also wouldn't put it past Skeptic or All For One to create a controller of sorts that Skeptic could use to control the Hyans. That just sort of seems feasible to me. Regardless, I think Deku has a long way to go because we're still in the very beginning parts of every area but Bakugo's, so to give those areas time to develop and have things happen, I think you have to keep Deku from the Shigaraki area for a while, but that also means that soon we'll probably have to cut away from the Bakugo area and stick with like the Ochako or Aoyama area for a month as well. All For One using the black liquid mouth teleporting quirk to summon Shoto and Dabi to Endeavor's area, allowing Dabi to fight Endeavor and Hawks, while All For One fights Shoto, as Dabi keeps Endeavor from helping his favorite son, since Dabi is the one who wants all of Endeavor's attention. This last prediction is truly what I think would cut the deepest, because we know that Dabi wants to go to Endeavor's area, but even if he flew there, his body would probably fall apart before he even got close. And anyway, he would only do that after killing Shoto. So for Endeavor, Shoto, and Dabi to all be in the same area, they would have to be teleported to the same place. And that's exactly the kind of thing that I think All For One would do, especially right now when he says his goal is to take out as many heroes as he can to make the job easier for Shigaraki. I wouldn't be surprised if All For One teleported several heroes to his battlefield and just began taking them out one after another and just creating as many painful situations for the heroes as he can by cherry picking who he chooses to teleport. Now, I think it would be the most interesting if he teleported Deku there, because Deku might be further away from UA than the Mountain Villa is, but this would give All For One a good opportunity to try to weaken Deku when he knows he can heal through anything right now with Rewind. In fact, any damage that Deku does might even just be keeping him alive longer. Got any predictions for My Hero Academia chapter 366? Let me know in the comment section below. Those were
okay. Alright. So we got some new info of what's going on and what exactly might happen. We don't know for sure, but if it does, I hope things go well for them. So Bakugo is going to get back up. Miracle's going to sacrifice herself to wake Bakugo. If that happens, I'm looking forward to see what Bakugo can do with his new body and new quirk. And I hope he can be able to beat Shigaraki. And of course, Skeptic, the creepiest one that I really don't like. He's pretty much doing the hacking. I hope someone will be able to stop him, because if he keeps hacking like this, the heroes are not going to stand a chance against the villains, because their top priority is to stop Shigaraki. Especially for the Nomus, they're going to keep the heroes busy from getting close to Shigaraki, and those Nomus are tough. So yeah. And of course, Deku is still trying to get to the battlefield, and it's taking for a long time to get here. I hope he's able to get there in time, because I wish he could fight even faster, because there's no way he could take that long to get to where he is right now. I mean, I just hope the villains don't, get to him, because if that happens, Deku might not have a chance to take out Shigaraki, because he will take out Shigaraki. I have high hopes for him, because I know he's Deku. He can do pretty much anything, and he can stop anybody who gets in his way. He'll do whatever it takes to stop Shigaraki, no matter what. I don't care how many courses he'll take, but I do know that every villain has a weakness, no matter where it is. If he has a weak spot, or depending on how long he uses his quirk, or depending on how long it will take for him to lose some stamina. Who knows? But I'm looking forward to see what happens next, guys. I really am. So this is Shotway 48. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.